Hi there, Steve here again. We're week 8 of our 12-week, 90-day challenge. And today I want to talk a little bit about output. In other words, producing the language. Now, you know that I believe, along with Stephen Krashen, leading expert on language acquisition, that our ability in the language will come primarily from our input activities, listening and reading, occasional looking at grammar, occasional review of words and phrases, perhaps a focus on phrases. All of this input activity is building up our ability in the language. But all of us, or most of us, want to be able to speak or write, but primarily speak and speak well. So we have to at some point start doing that, outputting the language in the language. Now there are opportunities at LINC. We have the exchange where you can put text that you start writing and have other members correct them. And it is often easier to start writing if you have the patience to write, because you have time to look things up, you have time to think about what you're going to say. Obviously, when you're speaking, you don't have so much time. So that's one place where you can start. But I think most of us, perhaps if I say in my own case, I'm a bit too lazy to write. I might write, for example, you can write just even in your flashcards, you have that dictation function where you hear it and you have to write it. Or you have reverse flashcards where you have the, say, English or whatever your native language is, and you have to produce it in the target language. But these are minor things. The main activity that we kind of want to get into is speaking. So this means getting a tutor. And where we have tutors, in those languages where we have tutors at LINC, I use our LINC tutors. Where we don't have tutors at LINC for some languages, I have in the past gone to italki, but I prefer to do it within LINC. I have good tutors for the languages that I'm learning right now, Persian and Arabic. And the advantage is that we get a report with audio that we can listen to. And so here's the thing about our interaction with the tutor. The interaction with the tutor is an opportunity to speak. Of course, you will struggle. You will simply not be able to remember words that you thought you knew. You'll make mistakes in grammar that, in fact, you know they're mistakes almost even as you're saying them incorrectly, but you just have to work your way through that. A good tutor will give you a good list. I get a good list of the words and phrases that I struggled with and record them. And so this gives me then content that I can review over and over again. And, I might have 30 or 40 or more of these conversation reports in the languages that I've been learning. And so I can go back to a conversation that I had 6 months ago and go over some of those words and realize that, in fact, I've already forgotten them. And I regularly do review. So the output activity is not only an opportunity for you to speak, it's also an opportunity to create more input activity that you can use. Because ultimately, the major sort of way in which you're going to upgrade your language skills is this commitment to ongoing listening and reading, input activities, increasing your vocabulary, improving your comprehension skills. This is the base from which you will gradually develop the ability to speak. And the only way you're going to speak better, if you do all of these other things, is to speak more. And that's going to mean more interaction with your tutor, or if you have an opportunity wherever you live, as is the case with me in Vancouver, there are a lot of Persian speakers where I live. So if I go into a store, whether it be a Persian grocery store or even a department store, and they have staff there that are Persian speakers, you better believe that I'm going to speak to them in Persian. The level of my Persian through this 90-day challenge has improved to a level where I can now engage with those people. So I'm certainly going to do that. And every time you do that, not only are you sort of discovering where your gaps are, which makes you more alert when you listen and read, but it stimulates you, it motivates you. And we all require motivation to stay on task. So when it comes to output, don't be discouraged if you don't do as well as you would like. Don't be discouraged if you do well one time and do less well the next time. I would also recommend that you focus a lot of your listening activity and reading activity on our mini stories, because I have found that they have enabled me to start speaking much, much earlier, because there is a lot of repetition built around the most common verbs in a language. And we need to have verbs in order to express our ideas. And in many languages, the verbs have a lot of grammatical issues that are difficult to get used to. So I would do a lot of listening and reading of the mini stories in preparation for your output activities. But ultimately, you have to get going. Don't second guess yourself. Just let it fly out of your mouth. Don't try to remember the rules of grammar. Just see rules of grammar. See what you're able to say. Review your conversation reports when you get them back from your tutor. So go and explore the tutor section at Link. Look at who we have there that are tutors in your language, and see if you can't find someone who is going to be to your liking. And if you don't like the first one, try another one. So that's what I have to say about output. It's 2/3 of the way through here, and it's time to start maybe doing a little more output activity. All right, thank you. Bye for now.